You know, the liver is an amazing organ because if you were to remove 2/3 of a healthy liver and leave only 1/3 behind, the rest of the liver will actually regenerate itself eventually. So how do we actually unpack it? How do we walk that back, fatty liver? Well, one thing to do is to burn the extra fat away.
Did you know that fatty liver disease affects nearly 1/3 of adults worldwide? It's a silent epidemic. But the good news is that your diet can play a major role in reversing it. Today, we're diving into the top 2 powerhouse foods that can destroy fatty liver fast, backed by science and explained by the renowned Dr. William Li. Stick around. Dr. William Li, a renowned medical doctor, researcher, and author, has spent years studying how different foods impact our health. According to Dr. Li, certain foods have natural properties that not only help the liver function better, but actually help reverse fat buildup. This is huge because it means we have control over our liver health in ways we might not have realized.
So let's talk about what is a fatty liver and why is it harmful to your health. Your liver, which is located in a right to upper quadrant, that's on the right side of your body, just under your rib cage, okay, is your body's cleansing and detoxifying organ. And it's actually connected to body fat in important ways, meaning that when you actually store fat normally, energy, fuel in your body fat, your liver actually detoxifies any other things that are running around, but it doesn't have to contend with the fat. However, when you actually have excess body fat and more fuel being stored into your body fat, this is metabolic dysfunction, overeating, putting too many calories in your body is one cause of this, then fat can leak out of the fat cells, okay, out of your fatty tissue into your blood, and then your liver has to spring into action in order to be able to actually try to clean out the blood, and it stores the fat in the liver itself, so the liver becomes fatty, okay? Fatty liver is such a problem in the United States because of the overconsumption of food. This is one of the biggest problems we actually have in our modern society. Is not that it's not that we just can't eat enough healthy food. It's actually that we eat overall too much of anything. You can overeat healthy food and you actually have a similar problem. Okay, so this isn't just about junk food, ultra processed food, although that's a lot worse. Overconsumption of calories of any type can set you up for fatty liver disease. And in fact, fatty liver is now the #1 reason to have a liver transplant in the United States. It used to be hepatitis, it used to be alcoholic cirrhosis. You know, these are other conditions that can affect the liver. Hepatitis is caused by a virus, a hepatitis virus that kind of infects and destroys the liver, causes scarring. Alcohol, you drink a lot of alcohol. Of course, the liver is trying to firing up like a factory as fast as it can to deal with over excess alcohol. Well, alcohol is a toxin. Eventually, you scar your liver down because the liver cells are killed off and you get a scar that forms. Then you wind up actually to have a liver transplant.
Before we dive into the solutions, let's talk about fatty liver disease. The condition occurs when excess fat builds up in the liver, impairing its ability to detoxify your body and metabolize nutrients. There are 2 main types. Number 1, non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD, often linked to poor diet, obesity, and insulin resistance. Number 2, alcoholic fatty liver disease, caused by excessive alcohol consumption. Both can lead to serious complications like inflammation, liver scarring, and even liver failure. But the liver has an incredible capacity to heal itself when supported with the right nutrients. NAFLD occurs when too much fat builds up in liver cells, usually due to poor diet, sedentary lifestyle, or metabolic issues like insulin resistance. The liver's job is to filter toxins and metabolize fats, but when overloaded, it stores fat instead. That's where the right foods come in. Let's explore science.
If you overeat day after day, week in and week out, month after month, year in and year out, what do you think is going to happen? You're not capable of burning all that fat off. In fact, even if you exercise as much as you want, you've actually stored a huge amount of body fat. And when you keep on doing that, all right, overconsumption, too much fuel in your tank, all right, now what happens is that the fat leaks out, the fuel leaks right out of the gas tank. So if you were at a filling station with your car and you filled up your gas tank with fuel, right? We know that it keeps on pumping out until the tank is full and it goes click. The clicker goes on and now you actually can't put any more fuel in there. All right, now imagine if there was no clicker, right? You just put the fuel in there. You had no idea. You step away from the car, fuel fills up. All right. And then what does it do when the tank is full? It spills out the side of the fuel area, down the side of the car, right around the tires, and it'll pool around your feet as a toxic, dangerous, flammable mess. And this is exactly the same thing that happens in your body when you overeat. All right. When you actually store your, now the thing is that in your body, unlike a metal fuel tank in a car, your body, your fat cells can stretch 3 times larger than before you actually load it up with food. So you stretch this fat cell 3 times, the next fat cell 3 times, the next fat cell 3 times. Oh, kind of fat. Guess what? Your body's got stem cells. These fat stem cells can actually make more fat, which can then blow up 3 times and again, and so on and so forth. And this is really how we accumulate excess body fat. Now, we can see the excess body fat if it actually goes under the chin or around the waist, on the thighs or the butt, okay? But the harmful body fat is inside the tube of your body, because inside the tube of your body, that's called visceral fat. And you could be a skinny person with a skinny tube, and you can still build extra body fat if you over-consume. So you know that skinny person that basically says, I can't eat anything, and I'm looking great. I look great, but actually inside the tube of your body, you might actually still have excess body fat. As you keep on going down this pathway that you don't want to be, keep going, keep pushing, keep eating, keep overloading the fuel, then eventually even though you've loaded up your fat, you're making more fat, okay, and it's showing, and you feel it, and if you did a DEXA scan, you could measure it inside the tube of your body. DEXA scan is a special kind of scan that looks inside to the tube of your body, all right? And you can see the kind of visceral fat there. Eventually, you've run out of storage space, right? What happens in your pantry when you actually have too many jars and cans, right? The cans are stacking on top of each other. They're going to start falling off and spilling onto the floor. That's exactly what happens when you overload your body fat, your adipose tissue, which is another way actually to talk about body fat mass. Adipose tissue overloaded with fuel, okay, from overconsumption will start to leak, all right? And this leak, all right, this lipid leak, so it's fat leak, gets into your bloodstream. You know where it goes? It goes right to your liver, and your liver will absorb it into its mass. Again, the foie gras, the duck, the goose, overstuffed with food, liver becomes fatty. That's not what you want, because not only do you actually have inflammatory, harmful body fat that sets you up from all kinds of chronic disease, but now your liver is overloaded with fat and can't do its job. Now remember, I told you the liver's job is to detoxify your body. So what do you think happens when the liver is packed with fat? It can't do its job, all right? It is so full of fat, it cannot properly detoxify your body. Now you're in trouble, because medications, toxins, regular metabolites are not going to get cleared out and processed by the liver in the way it actually should. All right, so this is actually the problem with overconsumption, excess body fat, causing this spillage of lipids into your liver, which then accumulates that fat, and now you're set up to actually have not only inflammatory fat and body inflammation, but now your detoxifying organ can't do its job as well. That's bad and worse. The liver is an amazing organ, because if you were to remove 2/3 of a healthy liver and leave only 1/3 behind, the rest of the liver will actually regenerate itself eventually. All right, so this is a highly resilient and very important organ, so you need to take care of it, and you don't want to mess it up with excess body fat. All right, so how do we actually unpack it? How do we walk that back, a fatty liver? Well, one thing to do is to burn the extra fat away, all right, and allow that liver to not have to work so hard, unburden the liver, and allow it to regenerate. So let's talk about 5 foods that can actually help the liver regenerate. So let's talk about 5 foods that can actually help the liver regenerate. Remember, this whole issue of fatty liver, one of the primary causes is overconsumption of food, overconsumption of calories.
Food number 1, onions. When it comes to foods that support liver health, onions may not be the first thing that comes to mind, but they are a powerful ally in the fight against fatty liver disease. Onions are rich in sulfur-containing compounds like allicin and acetylcysteine, which have potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory properties. These compounds help combat oxidative stress, a major contributor to liver damage and fat accumulation.
Onions belong to the allium family of vegetables. All right. They're in the same family, allium, as scallions, shallots, chives, ramps, garlic. All right. And, onions are pretty potent. As you know, garlic is a pretty potent. Onion, all allium are potent. And they're potent fat fighters as well. And part of the reason that they're potent is because they have something called allicin, allicin. And allicin, you got it, you guessed it, triggers thermogenesis. It triggers on brown fat to burn down harmful white fat, increases metabolism to burn it down. Now, onions also have another bioactive called quercetin. Okay, quercetin turns on brown fat. It's a potent trigger of activating brown fat thermogenesis, so onions can reduce body fat.
Onions are also a natural source of quercetin, a flavonoid with strong anti-inflammatory effects. Research shows that quercetin helps reduce liver fat by enhancing lipid metabolism and improving insulin sensitivity, two critical factors in reversing fatty liver. Furthermore, onions support liver detoxification by boosting the production of glutathione, a key antioxidant that helps the liver process and eliminate toxins. Onions are rich in sulfur-containing compounds like allicin, which boost the production of liver enzymes responsible for detoxifying the body. These enzymes help flush out toxins and reduce fat storage in the liver. Research also suggests that the prebiotic fibers in onions, such as inulin, promote gut health. A healthy gut microbiome is crucial for preventing liver disease, as it reduces inflammation and supports optimal nutrient absorption. A study in the Journal of Nutrition and Food Sciences found that regular onion consumption can significantly lower liver enzymes associated with fatty liver disease, improving overall liver health.
A study from Japan looked at 70 healthy adults who were overweight and gave them onions that were loaded with quercetin for 12 weeks. And basically the amount that they ate, it's sort of on a daily basis, just about a third to a half of a quercetin-rich onion. So you know like how to get an onion at home, right? You bring it home from the store. Always wash your onions, by the way, because even they might have been rolling around the ground. So make sure, even if you peel the skin off, make sure they're washed 60 seconds under cold running water. And then all you need to eat is half. Cut it in half, right? Wrap up the other half, stick it in the fridge or whatever, and then have that half. That's all they ate, about a third to a half of the quercetin-rich onion. And then these researchers studied blood samples at the beginning and the end of the study, and they put these people into a scanner, a CT scanner, to measure their abdominal fat. And guess what? The subjects who were eating onions every day for 12 weeks, onion eaters had a lower cholesterol because of quercetin actually can lower blood lipids. And guess what? When they were looking at the CT scan for visceral fat, harmful body fat, okay, in the tube of the body, onion eaters had an 8-fold decrease in visceral fat. That quite striking and really important to know, because onions are so useful and so easy to eat. You don't have to have a raw onion. You can actually slice it up. You can make an onion soup. You can put it up into a stew. You can saute with onions. Great way to add flavor as well as health benefits to other foods that you might be eating as well.
Incorporate onions into your meals, whether raw in salads, caramelized in dishes, or blended into soups to harness their liver healing properties and support a healthier, revitalized body.
Now, there was another clinical study from Korea that showed that eating onions 2 times per day for weeks could actually for 12 weeks, could actually lower your weight by 2 pounds, okay, and decrease your waist circumference by 1 inch. So again, other studies showing the clinical benefit of eating onions, all right?
Number 2. Extra virgin olive oil.
Food number 2, extra virgin olive oil.
It is a powerful ally for liver health, especially in combating fatty liver disease. AVU is packed with monounsaturated fatty acids, MUFAs, primarily oleic acid, and antioxidants like polyphenols, which protect liver cells from damage caused by oxidative stress and inflammation. These properties help prevent the accumulation of fat in the liver and support its detoxification functions. Monounsaturated fats in EVU help lower bad cholesterol, LDL, and improve insulin sensitivity, which can prevent fat accumulation in the liver. This makes it particularly effective for individuals dealing with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, NAFLD.
Now, remember, all oils are fats, all right? But we use fats for cooking. And some people say, well, let's not use any oils. That's not reasonable, all right? If you want to really enjoy your food, having a little bit of oil is absolutely important. Extra virgin olive oil is my choice, and it's recognized as a healthy choice. There's some people out there that are talking dirt about extra virgin olive oil, saying it's not healthy for you, complete bunk. All right, complete bunk. I'm a doctor, I'm a scientist. I can tell you the evidence, the clinical evidence, where it matters, shows that extra virgin olive oil is actually healthy. Okay, so oil is fine. Extra virgin olive oil is a preferred oil actually for cooking food. And it's a healthy oil because it's got bioactives, natural chemicals that activate your body's health defenses and activate your metabolism. One of those bioactives is called hydroxytyrosol. And guess what it does? The hydroxytyrosol in extra virgin olive oil, it activates your brown fat. So your brown fat is the healthy fat that burns down your harmful fat, your white fat.
Polyphenols, such as hydroxytyrosol and oleuropein, are powerful antioxidants that protect the liver from oxidative stress, a key driver of liver damage. They also reduce inflammation, which is vital for preventing fibrosis, scarring, and promoting liver regeneration. Studies, including one published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition, reveal that consuming just 1 tablespoon of EVU daily can improve liver enzyme levels, a marker of better liver function.
The olive oil that contains hydroxytyrosol, guess what? Hydroxytyrosol activates brown fat. It's like turning on the switch to your space heater, and the brown fat fires up, and what it does is it draws down and burns away the extra fuel from your white fat, the part you don't want. In fact, there was a clinical study in Brazil that looked at women, 41 women, who were aged 19 through 41, so this is on the younger side, who were overweight and who didn't normally use olive oil in their diet or cooking or anything like that. And what the researchers did is they gave half of the group, they split the group, so half the group actually got extra virgin olive oil. How much did they get? They got 2 tablespoons worth. That's not very much. Think about a measuring spoon for 2 tablespoons, that's not very much at all of extra virgin olive oil, and they add it to their breakfast every single day, all right? The other half of the group got a placebo. The placebo had soybean oil, all right? And all the women went on a little caloric restriction because you don't want to be overeating. And then the question is, what did the olive oil do for their metabolism? Well, after 9 weeks, the women who were eating extra virgin olive oil that had hydroxytyrosol, that turned down their brown fat, that burned down the harmful white fat, guess what? They lost 6 pounds, about 62% more weight loss than the soybean eaters. So this is an example. You're burning down that harmful visceral fat, waist circumference is shrinking. And by the way, of that 6 pounds, how much of it was from body fat? 5.3 pounds of that 6 pounds. Most of it was the body fat that you want to get rid of. That's stuff that could be inflammatory.
Extra virgin olive oil, EVU, has been extensively studied for its potential benefits in managing high blood pressure, hypertension. Research indicates that the polyphenols present in EVU contribute to cardiovascular health by reducing systolic blood pressure. Let's look at the studies. A randomized controlled trial in Australia found that consuming high polyphenol olive oil significantly reduced systolic blood pressure by 2.5 mmHg and central systolic pressure by 2.7 mmHg. Another meta-analysis confirmed these findings, showing that high polyphenol olive oil had a more pronounced effect than low polyphenol varieties. But that's not all. EVU also helps reduce inflammation and oxidative stress, 2 major culprits behind high blood pressure and heart disease.
Another benefit of extra virgin olive oil, a lot of people don't know about, is extra virgin olive oil, EVOO. These women in this study also had lower blood pressure by about 5 points. Now, you know what a challenge it can be to actually keep blood pressure normal. And that's why a lot of people take blood pressure medicines when they have high blood pressure. Well, for every 5 points you lower your blood pressure, you reduce the risk of heart disease and stroke by 20 to 30%. This is extra virgin olive oil. It's a fat. Don't use too much of it, all right? 2 tablespoons, 2 to 3 tablespoons is probably the magic number that you want to actually have. You know how they have the magic number for sleep? How much? 7 to 9 hours. Magic number for olive oil, for health, extra virgin olive oil, 2 to 3 tablespoons.
To get the most benefits, use cold-pressed, high-quality extra virgin olive oil. Drizzle it over salads, roasted vegetables, or use it as a base for healthy dressings.
You want to get the extra virgin olive oil that has the highest polyphenol content. So I'll tell you, there are 3 types of olives that are very high in polyphenols. In Spain, it's called the Picual olive, Picual. In Greece, it's called the Koroneiki olive, Koroneiki, Koroneiki olive. In Italy, there's an olive called Moriolo, Moriolo. That's from Umbria. Now, these are the olives with the highest amount of polyphenol. Olive oil in plastic containers, microplastics will get into the oil, all right? Plastic actually dissolves in fat, in oil. So you want to get it in a tin, all right? Or you want to get it in a glass bottle. Organic olives have more hydroxytyrosol, all right?
While these two foods are incredible for combating fatty liver, let's not forget the bigger picture. Pairing them with a balanced diet, regular exercise, and reducing sugar and processed foods can amplify the benefits. Your liver will thank you. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more science-backed health tips. Let's spread the knowledge and help others heal their livers too.